God, I believe this is only the beginning of a splash that's taking place across this city. As the editor of the newspaper said, it's a new day in Mass, and we thank you for that this morning. We assemble ourselves together to bless you and thank you, God, for what you've done in such a short period of time. Lord, this morning as I was preparing for the service, I saw faces and children and people in the homeless shelter. Thank you for all the years of the homeless shelter being here in Mass and all the lives that have been touched. As Taylor has shared, God, and other people who have been touched through the homeless shelter, thank you for the efforts of the people in this city. Thank you for the heart of this city. Thank you for the people of this city that have been so generous, not only in this city, but across this county. God, there's something special about Stark County. I believe there's something special in this county that exceeds the rest of the nation, God. There's a generosity here, a heart of people that love you and love to serve other people.
Hi, I'm Pastor Barry.
I'm Rick Morenzi.
And we're the Akron-Kent Connection on WHBC.
Every Wednesday morning at 9:10 a.m. And about 2 months ago, right after Christmas, we heard about the plight that the Massillon Homeless Shelter was going to have to undertake. They were losing their lease with Affinity Hospital and needed to find a home rather quickly. And they told us that they needed to find a home by March 1st, which gave us about a little less than 90 days to make something happen.
And we used the radio program to actually get the information out. We had Ray Fade on from Community Services.
Well, you know, I was at one time I was the facilities director there at our Massillon site, so I have a real love for our shelter. I kind of had a feeling with the change in ownership of the hospital that at some point, you know, that relationship might have to change. And about a year ago, we started investigating whether or not we're going to have our lease continued there. And we found out in early summer that wasn't very likely, and it was confirmed in November that we had 4 months to vacate. That was some startling news, I must say. We thought we'd have a lot more time, bigger time frame than 4 months.
She said I had to start a new school. When the teacher asked where I lived, I felt ashamed. The staff helped me with my homework in the afternoons. I like the snack that they give us. William plays in the daycare. He has learned some new songs and he can say his ABCs. One day I helped William color his picture, and they put our artwork all over the walls.
But we said we could do something, and we came up with the idea of City Splash.
Coming in out of the cold.
Coming out of the cold, and the Massillon Rec Center, if you've ever been down to the Massillon Rec Center with an indoor water park, it seemed like the perfect location. So we went to work to try to figure out how to do a fundraiser. And by the end of that lunch, it kind of turned into dinner, I guess, and a little bit into the evening, we had come up with a plan to launch it. And in the next week, we launched City Splash.
City Splash.
Before we know it, checks started coming.
Yes.
I think there was a meeting with the Massillon Clergy Association where we said we needed $1 million, and I turned to my good friend who is not only my co-host but my pastor and said we need to pray. And we talked about Pastor Barry talked about $1 million and prayed for $1 million, and City Splash was born. And almost 8 weeks later, we were. Of course, I wore my swim trunks. He wouldn't wear his swim trunks. We were at the Massillon Rec Center.
February 26th.
February 26th. And over 600 people attended. You'll see some of that video. And at the end of the day, when everybody took a deep breath, Ray Fade, who you'll see in a few minutes here, they raised $1 million.
Guys, beat that drum. You were the drum beaters. You know, you just kept beating that drum. And before you knew it, things started happening. We never found the right building for sale, so we went and found the right building that wasn't for sale, and made these guys an offer, and with some tough negotiations, they accepted, and it gave us a 45-day window of opportunity to raise a minimum of $750,000. And we thought, oh my gosh, how in the world are we going to pull $750,000 in this economy? But I got to tell you what. We're currently at 990, and I'm just like, I almost ready to put the 10,000 myself just to take us to that $1 million miracle. It's been miraculous. The support for this shelter was unanticipated.
And one of the great things that happened a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, They actually signed or did the closing of the new Massillon Homeless Shelter, which is going to be at the
On Tuscarora Street in Massillon.
Massillon, and it's the Red Carpet Inn. So not only did they expand the ability to house more families, they'll have a building that they can control and own, and it's a win-win for the city.
That's right. So it's been a great privilege to be a part of this, to use the radio program, Akron Canton Connection, to have City Splash, and we're really looking forward to City Splash being a fundraiser that we can do every year to raise operating costs for the Massillon Homeless Shelter, which is called the Family Living Center, actually. But
And let me, one other part, City Bible Church, and we're sitting in City Bible Church, you can see in the background, their motto or logo is transforming the city and beyond. And for the, and they've done a lot of smaller things, but, I turned to Pastor Barry one day and I said, your congregation really moved within the city and did something positive for the city. So my congratulations from the Akron Canton Connection to the City Bible Church, just tenfold.
and all of you in the city that came to City Splash, all of you are involved. Rick and I just wanted to tell you a big thank you. Thank you very much for making this happen for the
And thank
family.
you for letting us be involved.
Yes,
It was a blessing for us too.
absolutely.
You know that the average age of someone in a homeless shelter across America is 8. You have to excuse me for getting emotional, but really not. I might get emotional anyhow because I have a heart for everything that's taking place, but he's 8 years old, so I wanted you to see that most of the people in homeless shelters are children. So the community that's given, what the community's done here, is going to touch so many children and show them that love that we sang about this morning. Isn't that a good thing?